Howdy y'all and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be video number 39. It's been very, very long in the making. Suppose I should do a brief update of what's been going on and what took so long. Um, Usual Lotus Eater stuff, of course. The world just seems to keep you distracted. But I've really been looking into I was gonna switch modes. I was gonna start doing like video essays, and so I was looking at a lot of AI stuff and playing with the AI tools lately. And I've been um, sort of going down a Vedantic uh, path, trying to see what that's all about. And it turns out it's profoundly similar to what I call gnosis. So that's been fun. Um, been listening to Swami. I'm not even trying to say his last name, but the Vedanta Center of New York City. I've been listening to that guy for a little bit. Everyone should give him a shot. Great guy. Just like I listened to the Sat Yoga guy. I think he's great too. I think in a way they're both kind of difficult in their own ways to listen to, but the information that they have is rather profound. Now, this video is going to be about surviving the sixth mass extinction event. Surviving the sixth was my original YouTube name, and that's what I was going to make videos about. It was like, what's going on in the world and how are we going to survive all these different things. If you've ever seen some of my older videos and previous iterations before I deleted them all, I used to talk quite a bit about that. My son was born rather autistic, and this is sort of what led me down the path that I'm on today. And we're not going to dwell too much on that. But I do want to talk about what I learned through that experience and how I ended up here. You see, I discovered that there were really three great poisonings that we were doing to ourselves. And that if we were ever going to change, we'd have to stop those habits. And then that led me to the fourth discovery. And the fourth discovery is what this channel is about. So the first one that I really spent a lot of time on is, of course, hopefully none of this is going to get me shut down because these are not happy things. The world does not like talking about them. But it definitely is spraying our food with chemicals, and most specifically Roundup, glyphosate. Glyphosate is horrible. I suggest every single person go out and learn about glyphosate. I probably should be more prepared and give you a link to make this easier for you, but it's your journey. But there's a couple people, if you go back a couple years ago, start with Dr. Zach Bush, his older videos before he moved into the farmer's footprint thing. And turns out that glyphosate can mimic or is close enough shape to a protein that we use in our body, and I forget which one. It starts with a G. It's one of the 9 essentials, I believe. And the body can actually, and has been found to have replaced that protein with a glyphosate molecule. Is this true? I don't know. This is one of those things that's like you have to either believe other people or you don't. And I don't know if what they're saying is true, but I do know this. Spraying everything with poison is a very bad idea. This world has a nature. This is one of the fundamental tenets of our belief system, of our philosophy. The world is nature, the mother, and the father. It's consciousness, left and right hemisphere of consciousness, and nature. This is the environment in which we live. And the fact that it has a nature means it has a way. Everything has a use, has a purpose, has a function. and going through this world and spraying poison on everything because it makes our life more convenient or makes farming more profitable or whatever the reasoning is behind it is genuinely a very bad idea. And yeah, I suppose I should say the government is trying to get at the root cause of autism. And these three great poisonings, I believe, are the cause. Now, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but I am saying that we have to stop. Even if it doesn't cause autism, even if it doesn't cause cancer, the mindset of poisoning the world has to stop. So that was the first great poison. The next great poison is another one that people really don't like to hear about. And that really is electromagnetic radiation. It's your cell phone, it's your Wi Fi, it's the radio stations, it's radar, it's Bluetooth. We are swimming in an absolute sea of radiation. And another thing that you can go out and look for yourself is look at different countries and what level of radiation they allow. I'm in the US and we happen to allow a lot. And again, the world has a nature. And when you completely change that nature, and electromagnetic radiation includes electricity itself. If everyone should go out and read the book, The Invisible Rainbow, and see what happens when electricity was introduced into the world. Look at what happened to the people that were part of the first, what is that, the old wire transfer thing, those guys. They got sick. You should read that book. Again, that's not the point. I'm not saying people shouldn't communicate. I'm not saying people shouldn't have electricity, because I will argue that energy is critical. But the way these things are implemented and the way that we use them and to the level that we use them, does your computer need to be wireless? We could go wired. These sorts of things. Does your phone have to be wireless all the time? Of course it doesn't. Is it more convenient? Of course. But are we willing to live with the damage that we're doing to other people? I see everyone out there, they're like, I don't know what's wrong with this world, but there's something wrong with this world. And here I am. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 things that you are doing that is contributing to it, and you're going to ignore it, of course. Because, of course, it's not your fault with the world. That's going to be the 4th one, by the way. So, electromagnetic radiation. We have to get this back under control. It is radiation. It's not Bluetooth. Get those things out of your ears. Please. Third one. Now, again, remember, this was the discussion I was having with my wife about the cause of autism. And I would say it'd be the poison that we put within our bodies through, programs and whatnot, where you have to have these records and you have to show them in order to get into school and whatnot. These things are full of poison. I believe it's called an adjuvant, something. You should look it up. Turns out if they inject you with a poison, your body doesn't do anything about it. One of those things that they say causes disease. If they inject you with that, nothing happens. The person doesn't get sick, and the body doesn't have a reaction. But if you add some mercury to that, or if you add some aluminum to that, the body freaks clean out, goes absolutely crazy. This provides what they would call an immune response. See, it isn't the chopped up thing that they're injecting you with that they say causes disease that causes the immune response. It's this thing. It's the poison that they have to add to it to get your body's attention. And then when your body's literally freaking out, whatever it happens to find at the scene of the crime is one way to look at it. That is what it's going to call a criminal. This could be people's nervous systems. This could be your cell lining. You want to know why there's autoimmune disease on the rise? It could think your own body is attacking itself. None of this matters. The thought that you need to protect yourself from this world, again, our body is of this world. You are built for this world. Your body is built for this world. You don't need protection. Yes, people are always going to get hurt. People are always going to fall ill, and it's always going to be tragedy. This is the nature of our being. This worshiping of a safety mindset to please protect me, we all have to do these things to protect one another, is profoundly evil. The M.E.E Gnosis definition of evil is to poison. It's the definition. You either help life flourish or you poison life. And these three things are all poisons to life. They are, on a spiritual level, profoundly evil. On a psychological level, they are evil. They are weakening people mentally. People are breaking. Which brings us to the fourth point, which was the conclusion of my surviving the sixth journey. And that conclusion was, these poisonings are happening because of a moral failing on each one of our parts. We the people of the world have failed. And that's how I ended up going on a religious journey, trying to figure out exactly what do these religious books mean. And Jordan Peterson really introduced me to it when he did his biblical series. Now, I don't like his Exodus and all the other ones he's been doing in the roundtable format lately, but that first series covering Genesis was profound. It made me realize that there's meaning that our ancestors were trying to pass along to us. There was great value that they were passing along to us. And they passed it along in the way that they understood. And that was in story. And it was story that have moral meaning. And you get all these people getting caught up, oh, is so-and-so real? Or did this person really live? Or did this event really happen? None of that matters. It's a moral story. The whole entire Bible, you have two choices. It's either a historical story that was true in a physical sense, or it's a moral story. Now, I know people pick and choose, but the Bible itself will tell you it's a moral story. It's stories of how to make your life better, how observation of the world over thousands of years have taught us how the world truly functions, how people truly function. And this poisoning of the world has happened before. We do it over and over and over again. But back to the reason why I was having that conversation, the government says they're looking into the cause of autism. And if you look back, the spraying of our food, the rise of electromagnetic radiation, and the increase of people being injected with poison all happened at the exact same time, back in the 90s. And as all of those have increased, so has the rate of all those types of diseases and many others. Childhood diseases are absolutely skyrocketing. Just take a look at something like asthma. It's like everyone always thought it was a lung disease, and it turns out it's a microbiome disease. The largest vein, or the largest nerve in your body, runs from your mind to your stomach, because your stomach is in constant communication with your brain on what's happening in the world through the food that you eat. And it affects every single part of your body. It's all interconnected. So we eat poison, we breathe poison, we drink poison, we're radiated by poison. We inject our kids and ourselves with poison. And then we've lost our moral way. That's why this is the 6th mass extinction event. 6 represents humanity. We're doing it to ourselves. Now, perhaps we've always done it to ourselves. Probably true. But until we change our way, not go out in this world and try and make your neighbor change or try and change the law, until you change as a person, you, and then change the people that you spend your life with, change the people around you. But you change first. That's the key. You become meek. You become a powerful person that's under control. And you know we are in a place with the nature. We are in a place, we are here to help things grow. And the opposite of that is evil. We are in a space of consciousness, not a space of thought or belief. I think we're going to leave it there, my friends. And make another video right after this. But I think that's about all I had to say. Sorry it's been so long. I really have been hard at work. Not just my job. I mean, I've been hard at work on my whole Gnosis project. And life just keeps getting in the way of making videos. But no excuses. Until then, my friends, I will see you on the next one.